Good afternoon, good evening, happy holidays. Welcome to the penultimate edition of the Miami Hurricanes Talk with Danny, presented by Lorraine Sports. Please go to canesconnection.com to join Canes Connection today, and you'll help student athletes. And if you want to have a good holiday present, we did order this T-shirt from Lorraine Sports. We bring the smoke, and I have other T-shirts like this. You go to lorrainesports.myshopify.com, and you get yours today. Make a good holiday gift, and you would help a kid in Miami without that doesn't have an NIL deal. My guest this week is Matt Mensen. Matt, can you introduce our audience to what you guys do?
Yeah, so currently I am still a senior at Iowa State, but a year ago, me and one of the other students here, we started our own independent podcast covering a wide range of Iowa State sports. It's called the Cornfield Sports Pod. Find on, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, wherever you look for podcasts, we're there. Um, but we cover everything, and football is the big ticket item. So that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, the thing I look at though, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Saturday, 3:30 ABC. East, that's 2:30 Central out in Iowa, here in Orlando. Canes and the Iowa State Cyclones. Um, the thing I looked at right away when I looked at Iowa State, I was looking at earlier today. 2,000-yard receivers, Higgins, who's from South Florida. Um, our defense is going to have to step up in this game. There are no opt-outs for Iowa State if I'm not mistaken.
No
How is
opt-outs.
no opt-outs?
No opt-outs. We do have some transfer portal entries
Yeah,
that we're not going to be seeing.
yeah,
I
I
think
saw one
the biggest
today.
one was on the defensive side with Tyler Onyedem.
Yeah, I did see one earlier today, Matt. If I'm not, and I'm reading that here. I did see one that was not going to be playing Saturday, and if I could find it, I do apologize. The guy I think one that was going into the pool from Iowa State. You're right. He's on the defensive end. He's not going to be playing in this game.
Yeah, it was I believe it was Tyler Onyedem.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So how is Iowa State preparing to deal with Cam Ward in his final game?
A lot of it's going to be pretty heavily reliant on our secondary. We went through the majority of the Big 12 season with the best secondary in the Big 12.
Mhm.
Um, Jeremiah Cooper's was one of the top prospects for his position when he was recruited. He's continued to be an excellent player. Darian Porter is another excellent D-back. John Tez Williams. That's an interesting storyline actually with John Tez Williams. He's got great hands in the defensive secondary, but his father, Andrew Williams, actually played at Miami and was a
Yes.
third round pick to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. So I'm sure when did Iowa State leave for Orlando?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I would
Mm.
imagine probably a couple days ago.
Yeah, I think they probably left because I know you have to be there a certain time for bowl week. The thing I looked at when I saw them against Arizona State is they were not able to stop the run. Tell us about the last game in the Big 12 championship game against Arizona State for our audience out there.
That was a perfect storm for Arizona State. They got one of the best running backs in the country.
Chris
I mean,
Gapineau.
he's not quite Ashton Genty, but Cam Skattebo is extremely tough to deal with, and I think Texas is going to have a difficult time against Skattebo here when they play each other.
Hmm.
But Iowa State's defensive front has probably been the single weakest point on the team through the entire year. And as I mentioned before, losing Tyler Onyedem is not going to help that either.
No.
Um, so I think that that's going to severely limit our ability to pressure Cam Ward, and it's going to give him all day to find open receivers. And if you give Xavier Restrepo enough time, he's gonna get open.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing I looked at here when I watched it here, and I'm looking at a couple things to watch besides Cam. We have Xavier Strip, but we don't know if he's going to play. There's some talk he might not play, but I'm thinking he will. Yeah, it's another one we have to deal. Another thing that our defense has not been able to do this year, as if you've seen our games, we have not been able to come up with big stops when we've had to. We have a talented front, but if you saw the Syracuse game and this Georgia Tech game, they killed you. The defense was killed because they ran jet sweeps and we could not be able to stop that. What is Iowa State doing when are they watching tape of those Syracuse and Georgia Tech games to see, okay, we can run the same play against a Miami defense that has not been able to come up big when it's had to?
They better be. If I were if I were controlling what plays are getting run in the film room, those would definitely be plays that I'm looking at, because that's the kind of plays that I want to see. Us handing off on that jet sweep to Jalen Knoll. That guy's fast.
Hmm.
Um, but when it comes to offensive scheme, we tend to be pretty consistent with what we do. We tend not to vary it up a whole lot.
Hmm.
We've gotten a little bit more pass heavy as the season has gone on.
Yeah.
But the philosophy that comes from the Matt Campbell school of thought
Yeah.
typically tends to be uh, establish your running backs first and then play everything else from there. Um, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. We've been playing that running back committee this entire year, um, with Carson Hansen, Abu Sama, and Jalen Jackson. I'm not actually 100% sure what the status of Jalen Jackson is for this game.
Hmm.
Um, but Abu Sama has been getting starts for Iowa State. In my opinion, Carson Hansen has actually been the better back, but neither one has been absolutely stellar. Neither one has been crazy explosive. Sama's got more explosive plays than Hansen does, and he's got more speed and a little bit more agility. But I think Hansen has a little bit better eyes on the field. He's a little bit better at making those reads. I think the best play that Sama had over the course of the season was that long touchdown run against Houston. And the only reason that play ended up even happening was that after he ran into essentially a pile of Houston defenders, Jared Hufford basically picked him up out of the pile, pointed him at the end zone like a wind-up toy, and let him go.
Yeah, I'm looking at a film here on Darian Porter. What can you tell us about him?
Darian Porter is one of the surprises of the season, I honestly think. When you go into the season, at the beginning of the year this year for Iowa State, the guys that you're going to be looking at in the defensive backfield were going to be Jeremiah Cooper, and Jontez Williams. But Darian Porter, like I said before, he's got sticky hands. If he manages to get his hands on a ball, it's probably picked.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not he's going to get his hands on there, but you don't see a ton of balls get thrown his way either because of that. Because he doesn't tip a lot of balls without catching them himself.
Yeah.
So I've noticed as the season has gone on, quarterbacks have been a little bit more afraid to throw at him than they were at the start of the year.
Yeah, I was looking at his. I noticed that you've had some big wins this year. And Matt Campbell's a solid coach. Okay. Matt Campbell's very good coach. Um, I gotta ask you, and I'm gonna keep it short. Given this ball game, what are your keys? I'm gonna give you what are your keys for an Iowa State victory, and I'll give you my keys for a Miami victory.
If Iowa State wants to win this game, they got to come out hard and they got to come out fast. And we really got to control time of possession because uh, the more that Cam Ward and is in control of the ball, the more that Miami's offense is out there,
Yeah.
that's going to be a huge problem because Iowa State does not have much depth on defense right now. The defensive line we've already talked about, but
Yeah.
our linebacking core has had a lot of injuries over the course of the year. They are a long ways from being at full health. We've got walk-ons, very young walk-ons that are taking starting roles right now because it's who we have available. Um, so we need to be having our most talented guys on the field as much as possible, and creating, field position advantages to allow our defense to keep Miami from getting much momentum in the first place. But Iowa State's got to come out swinging at the start of the game. They got to get aggressive because we know Miami's going to score and we know they're going to score a lot of points. That's essentially a given. So we got to get out there and we got to score first.
I think for us, for Miami to win, you know the deal. We got to get that Syracuse. We've had a couple weeks, you know, get the Syracuse loss out of our mouths. Cam Ward, you know, in his final game, you know, he's going to come out ready to play this ball game. But I know our fans are maybe wanting this, maybe have Cam Ward play a half and then maybe go to Emory Williams, who is going to be the future of this program. At least you're going to see him, maybe see him in this game. I think the Canes have to come out fast. You know, the defense has to come out. They've been criticized all year. They have played terrible in spots all year, but they've also come up big when they've had to. So I think you're going to see the Canes come out ready to play this ball game. You know, I think you're going to see, and also, excuse me, also the running game's going to get going. I think you see the running game get going a little bit. We have Miami had three backs. You know, Scatterbo, you've seen for Iowa, you've seen against you guys. I say they got three backs, not like Scatterbo, but not on his caliber, but three solid ones. And Mark Fletcher, Jordan Lyle, and Damian Martinez. Right now, those are three solid backs right there. AJ Allen's our other back. He went into the portal, so you're not going to see him in this game. Isaiah Horton's not going to be. It's not in this game. He committed to Alabama. He committed to Alabama. Um, and you're going to see, and a lot of guys. You know, I think this is more a pride thing, Matt. I think for you guys as well. This is a pride thing.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that comes with being at Iowa State is that, that culture.
Yes. I think they come out. I think Canes start fast. I think we're gonna come out ready to play and come out with a vengeance in this game. I really, really believe that. I think it's a good solid I think it's gonna be a good test. Iowa State's a solid team. You know, we can't sleep on those two receivers you talked about, 2,000-yard receivers. They're gonna test our secondary for sure. Um I'll let you out, Matt, with a prediction. Give me a prediction for this game.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't think the Cyclones are going to win this one. Um, our defense is just missing too many pieces right now. And we know how Miami's offense is. They're going to score a lot of points. Um, I think this is a game where, Miami clears the 40-point mark. I'm thinking the final score of this game probably ends up looking something along the lines of 45 to 28.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I think Canes come out fast. Canes have a point to prove in this game. Get the Syracuse loss out of my mouth. Get some momentum going in the next season. They want to come out. They want to finish strong. They want to win 11 games. They have not done that since 2017. They have not won 11 games. I would say since 2003, 2004. I think this is gonna be a momentum boost going into to next season. I think Canes win big in this game. If the defense shows up, the Canes win comfortably. But I'm going to say along the same lines, around 31 Canes win. That's going to be my prediction for this ball game. Matt, listen, thank you so much for coming on. Merry Christmas to you and the family. Happy holidays. Happy 2025. And I don't know if you're going down to Orlando on Saturday.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it.
Okay, so yeah, listen, neither will I. But listen, have a great 2025. Enjoy the game Saturday. And we'll talk again soon.
Yep. Have a good one. I appreciate being on.